All right, we're kind of moving on to one of the main focuses for today. So example 1 through 4, we're kind of, I would say, background information, things that hopefully you've seen before. Now we're going to work on the midpoint formula. So it says J is located at 2, -3, and S is located at -2, 5. So you can draw a graph with your pencil, you can cut out and glue a graph paper or use a piece of graph paper if you have one. It's up to you, find the midpoint. So first I'm going to go ahead and make a picture. It's always a good strategy. So let's go ahead and put point J at 2, -3. All right, point S is located at -2, so left 2 and up 5. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and connect. So sometimes with smaller numbers and with a picture, you may be able to find the midpoint, find your answer graphically on the graph, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that if that strategy works for you. If you don't draw straight lines, like mine's not particularly straight, it might not be accurate. The other thing is you do need at some point to be able to use the midpoint formula, because I will give you points like 500, -1,000. And you're not going to want to draw a graph that goes to 500 and to 1,000. So I am going to walk you through how to use the formula, and using the graph is a good way to check your answer. So if you remember from the third vocabulary, your midpoint formula, which should be memorized, not maybe at this second, but at some point, you add your x's, divide by 2, add your y's. It's just like finding an average. Divide by 2. You may want to label your points. So what do I mean by that? That remember x comes first, and I call this x1 because it's 0.1, y1 because it's 0.2. -2 is x2, y because it's 0.2, and y2. And then you're just plugging in your numbers. So my formula says x1 is 2. All right, plus your midpoint formula has a plus, x2 is -2. So 2 plus -2 divided by 2. For my y's, y1 is -3, plus your midpoint formula has a plus, y2 is 5 divided by 2. Okay, then you can use a calculator. You can use a calculator if you want to. 2 plus -2, 2 minus 2 is 0. Right here, -3 plus 5. -3 plus 5 is 2. Then don't forget to divide by 2. 0 divided by 2 gives me 0. 2 divided by 2 gives me 1. So here's my answer, 0, 1. I'll highlight that 0, 1 is the midpoint. If I go back to my graph, 0, 1, so my line wasn't perfectly straight, but that does seem like the midpoint, 0, 1. Okay, so we added our x's, divided by 2, added the y's, divided by 2. So let's try one more. This is a similar problem, example 6. You've got h at point -5, 0. A is located at 6, -3. Find the midpoint. So pause the video, set up your problem, set up your graph, try using the formula, see if you can get it. My hint to you, if you're doing this one, there are going to be decimals or fractions in your answer, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you're wrong. Okay, so I will start going over it, but pause the video, see how you did. -5, 0 is right here. 6, -3 is right here. And this is line segment ha. Trying to be a little funny, get it? Okay. All right, then you may want to label your points. -5 is x1, 0 is y1, 6 is x2, -3 is y2. All right, what is my formula again? I'm adding the x's, dividing by 2, adding the y's, dividing by 2. So just plug everything in. So x1 is negative 5, x2 is 6, y1 is 0, y2 is negative 3. All right, go ahead and simplify. Negative 6 plus 5 is 1. 0 plus negative 3 is negative 3. So I would accept your answer if you leave it like this, 1/2, negative 3/2. I would accept 0.5, negative 1.5. I would accept any of those. If you like decimals, those are fine. If you prefer fractions, that would be fine as well. If you look at your graph, 1/2 is about here, negative 1.5. So right about here is my midpoint, which looks accurate. Okay, last example. Hooray, we made it. My goal, I know it might not sound great to you, but my goal is to keep the videos under 20 minutes as best I can. And if they're a lot longer, then I split this section into 2 days. Last year, I worked with another colleague, another teacher, and some of the videos were like 6 minutes, and students actually complained that there wasn't enough detail and that they were struggling. So again, I'm not making these long to torture you, but just to make it detailed enough for you to understand. Okay, example 7, you should be able to do this one on your own, but I will walk you through it if you need help. Identify the segment bisector of line segment RS, then find RS. So the segment bisector is this line right here, which is line N. Then to find RS, you should be setting 4x plus 3 equal to 6x minus 12 and solving for x. I'm going to run out of room here, but it looks like I'm going to get 15 equals 2x, so x is going to equal 7.5 or 7.5. So just because you get a decimal doesn't mean that's wrong. Okay, if I plug for RS, if I plug in x, 6 times 7.5 minus 12, that will give you your final answer. I'm not going to write out what it is. It's a common age when people retire, a little bit later actually. So I'll check your notes when you take a picture and upload them that you have finished that problem. All right, then wherever you are, draw your line. Write the word summary, highlight it. You're going to answer 3 questions today in complete sentences that start with capital letters and end with periods. Question 1, what is a segment bisector? How would you describe that? What is it? A line segment, a point that cuts something in half, right? What is it? Question 2, how do you calculate the midpoint of a line segment? So the red question is asking you, what is the midpoint formula? How do you do it? Something like you add the x's and divide by 2. Why am I asking you this? Because I want you to memorize this formula, so I want you to summarize and remind yourself what is the formula. Last question, to help you remember the midpoint formula in purple, what is the midpoint formula? Why does it make sense? Why would I think it's reasonable to memorize it? Why does that formula make sense? So you should probably be talking about finding an average when you answer that question. All right, for the homework 1-3 part 1, so you're going to do all those problems. It'll be a totally separate assignment tomorrow. So it's page 24, number 1, 3 through 10, 15 through 18. Have a great day. If you have questions, send me an email, hop on the Google Meets. I'd love to help you out.